1, your period starts. You're in winter because everything is at square one, base one. Nothing has started blooming yet. Everything is at its reset phase. Okay? Day 1, the day you start your period is the day your cycle starts. Your 28-ish to 35-ish day cycle. Okay? Menstruation, your bleed, is part of your follicular phase. So this is under the umbrella of your follicular phase. Your follicular phase started today and your period started today. Okay? Day 1 is the lowest hormone phase. Is the day that the lining sheds and the blood comes out, is the day that your hormones have hit their lowest valley, okay? Lowest level of estrogen and progesterone that you're going to have all month is on day 1 of your bleed, or like a few hours before your bleed, okay? They begin rising back up as your period progresses. The week of your period, the next day, day 2 of your period, your hormones are a little higher. Day 3 of your period, they're a little higher. Day 4, they're a little higher. They're going to keep rising. Hormones keep rising throughout your entire follicular phase until they peak at ovulation. Okay? So day 1 of your period is going to feel better than the day before you started your period. Okay? Day 2 of your period is going to feel a little better in here than day 1 of your period. It's all because you're rising back up. So we're starting the rise on day 1. Okay? When our hormones are very, very low, less ATP is being created in the body. So energy levels are lower. Your metabolic function is going to be slower. As these hormones start rise, so day 2, 3, 4, as you're getting out of your period, your body is resilient to stress because of your increased parasympathetic response in the nervous system, okay? You will be more adept at handling, like, standing on business than you were in your luteal, okay? You are going to be more stress resilient as your hormones are coming back up, because they are coming back up as your period is going day by day forward. When you're on your period, you will be feeling very introspective. And you should have an internal focus at this time. You shouldn't be like prioritizing other people or socializing at this time, okay? Your nutritional focuses are going to be iron, magnesium, and omega-3s. You're going to crave a steak, queen. Eat that. You're going to see red meat on the TV for the Purina dog commercial. And you're going to say to yourself, well, why does that look so damn delicious? Because you need some iron, girl. You're losing blood at a rapid rate, okay? Neurologically, there is less activity of excitatory and mood-boosting neurotransmitters in the brain, literally. So this is going to feel like a lower mood. It's not as low as it was in that luteal, but we're starting here. So it's going to be low mood compared to what you'll feel the rest of the month and the oncoming phases of your menstrual cycle, okay? There are superpowers to your menstruation. Your body is literally cleansing away and letting go the last 3 months of toxins, okay? Toxins, as in outdated beliefs, ex-lovers, anyone that's been inside of you, anything that you've carried inside of you. You are letting go and just cleansing your body at this time. You need to connect to this release and be very intentional about what you no longer want to carry inside of your body, inside of your heart, inside of your mind, okay? Your intuition is at an all-time high, okay? Literally, neurologically, there are hormonal factors that are contributing to your intuition being higher, okay? The veil is at its thinnest. What do you want to release for good? Focus your attention inward. Set intention. This is the best time for decision making, okay? You have heightened clarity and heightened knowing right now. This is the time to make decisions. This is the time to let go of shit. Period. Your cognitive superpower, boiled down into one word at this time, is discernment. You have the most amazing discernment right now, okay? You are the queen, and you know everything that you need to know, and you're seeing it all very clear right now, and there's nothing that's getting in that's shielding and blurring your vision right now. You know. You fucking know, and you need to trust that knowing, okay, girl? Okay, now as our bleed is finishing, who knows, you could have a 5-day bleed, you could have a 3-day bleed, you could have a 10-day bleed. You know what's normal for your body. For me, it's 7. I'm gonna bleed for 7, exactly, okay? So on day 7, these hormones are still rising up, I stop bleeding, and this is entering spring phase, follicular phase. Okay, hormones rising back up, estrogen is rising back up, and this is starting to feel so good. And now estrogen is running the show again. Thank God. Okay. ATP production is going to be ramped up, so energy levels are increasing, muscular strength is increasing, stamina is increasing, metabolic function and rate is rising, okay? You will be feeling productive, high energy, focused, social, okay? Neurologically, there is a higher activity and density of serotonin and dopamine receptors, so this will feel like a heightened mood, okay? You'll have an easier time focusing. Your sleep quality is going to improve because you have an easier time entering slow wave sleep because it's more parasympathetic. It's easier for us to get into parasympathetic system responses. This is a great time to be in the gym. You're going to be maxing out. You're going to be lifting heavy. Your body is very good at recovering right now. Your body is bouncing back. You're feeling good. You're like, I can max out today. I can hit a PR today. Nutritionally, we want to focus on B vitamins, folate, which is B9, complex carbs, always, fiber, high fiber, we're wanting to focus on that always, and of course high protein, we're wanting to focus on that always, okay, but more hitting on those B vitamins. Superpowers of follicular, okay. In your follicular, you have an enhanced navigational ability, okay, in terms of planning, like figuratively, okay. You can see where you need to go and how you're going to get there, okay? Your ability for strategic action is heightened. This is the time to build. This is the time to take action, okay? You've just gained so much clarity from your menstrual phase, from your bleed, when that veil was thin and you could see what you needed to let go of and what is going on, and your knowing was very high. Use that clarity now to take action, okay? Use the clarity you gained and act on it. You are very focused right now, you're very energized right now, and you're very strong right now. So use that and ask yourself, what do you want to build? What do you want to create? It is time to do that now. You will feel an influx of inspiration, and it's important to act on it at this time. This is the time when action is happening, okay? So the cognitive superpower, boiled down into one word, of this phase is going to be navigation. So as those hormones are rising up during follicular, they're rising to a peak. And that peak is happening now in summer. It's time for summer. It's time for ovulation, baby. Okay, so this is going to happen around day 14 of your cycle. And it's only going to last 1 to 3 days. Okay? Because your ovulation is an ovulatory event. Okay? It's an egg that's getting placed in that fallopian tube. And it doesn't take that long. It takes about 16 to 32 hours. Okay? So your ovulation phase is going to be your shortest phase of your cycle. Of course, because it's when you feel the best. Like, of course it is the shortest. It's only going to last 1 to 3 days in most women in the event itself. The most common numbers I've seen is between 12 and 32 hours for the ovulation events to happen, okay? So this is the peak of estrogen, the peak of luteinizing hormone, the peak of follicle stimulating hormone. So we are also peaking in testosterone, which feels really good. You're going to be seeing a slimy, like, cervical discharge that is being released, and that's going to be very normal, and that's a very good cue that you're ovulating, is when you see that egg white-like discharge. Okay? You are going to be fertile as hell. So you need to take proper precautions, and basically, like, you're going to be... So, just be careful. This is a time for you to be outward focused and social, okay? When we are bleeding, the focus is in here, and the knowing is in here. Now we can move that focus and attention outward, and this is the time to be social. This is the time to make plans and be around people and have these experiences out here. So then eventually when we come back into our bleed, we'll integrate them. Now is the time that we are outside. We're outside. Okay? You're going to be peaking in energy, peaking in focus, peaking in strength. You are literally going to be looking physically more attractive. Like, you get prettier this time. Deadass, I don't know why, but I don't need to know why because I know it's fucking true. Your face looks better. You look better. You feel better. People can tell that you look better. People can sense you look better, so you're magnetic. You're magnetic as fuck, and you're the most attractive at this time. Neurologically, we know your mood is peaking because it's the highest boost of neurochemicals like serotonin, dopamine, epinephrine, and norepinephrine. Your nutritional focus is going to be on vitamin C, zinc, and antioxidants. Of course, we're still getting that fiber. Of course, we're still hitting those protein marks. Of course, we're still getting the complex carbs because we always need carbs. you will definitely be feeling like her. Okay. Your superpowers of ovulation. You are going to be your most influential and magnetic right now. You will feel like the absolute best version of yourself, so you can perform at your absolute best, okay? Your performance is going to be peaking right now. This is the time to be bold. This is the time to do the most, okay? People are most attracted to you right now, and you will notice a difference in how men act towards you, okay? They need it. You also are going to be very tapped into your highest aspirations for yourself. So know that it's going to be very easy for you to be like, this big goal, I can definitely achieve this. And you're going to feel that way in this ovulation phase, and know that that is true. Okay? And know that these big aspirations that you're able to hone in on in ovulation, they're not to be discounted in the other phases just because they feel further away in your other phases. They aren't, okay? So whatever big aspirations and desires that you're having during ovulation, write them down and continue to honor them during all of your phases, okay? In those other phases where the inspiration is not there, the other phases aren't for inspiration, okay? They're not for you to be tapped into highest aspiration. The other phases are for other things, but they're not so you can discount your highest aspirations that you have during ovulation, okay? You have to honor your big old crazy ass desires because you're gassed up on ovulation, but you're supposed to be. Know these, internalize them, and continue to honor them throughout your whole phase. Know how powerful you are. Just because you're only feeling it during ovulation doesn't mean that power goes away during your other phases. It's an awareness that phases in and out, but you have to hold on to it. So don't think that you did too much in ovulation just because you were feeling really good. No, you need to continue to honor that. That's you. That's your highest self. That's your highest aspiration. That's your highest timeline, okay? Your cognitive superpower right now is influence, okay? You have power, you're tapped into your power, and people can see your power during this time. As ovulation, that short 1 to 3 days, it hits a peak, it starts declining, okay? On this hormonal decline is when we enter autumn, and this is when we enter our luteal phase, okay? So this is approximately day 15 to 28, 17 to 28, and depending on how long your cycle usually is, to day 30, whatever. So in the window of day 14 to day 28, luteal is approximately a 2-week phase, okay? It is the longest phase of our menstrual cycle. There are going to be 2 distinct phases that you can definitely feel during your luteal. That's going to be your early luteal and your late luteal. Early luteal is you're still coming down from the high of ovulation, so you're not going to feel bad. You're going to feel pretty good still. You still have a estrogen kick in a little bit, but we are switching to progesterone at this point. So this is when the shifts start happening, okay? It's going to be about 5 days before your period, so your late luteal, that you're really going to feel all these luteal symptoms, okay? So as progesterone begins to rise up and estrogen is dropping, you're going to have more systemic inflammation in the body. You are going to have a brief dip in your core temperature during ovulation. During luteal, that core temperature is going to come back up. You're going to have a drop in plasma volume, okay? You're going to be less stress resilient. This, as you're coming into your luteal, you're not going to want to be lifting heavy in the gym, okay? This is going to be a deload time in the gym, and you're going to focus on form and function. You're going to have less power because of changes in the central nervous system that are happening during the luteal phase. Your sleep quality is going to diminish because there's going to be a change in the vagal tone, and that decreases parasympathetic nervous system response. So slow wave sleep is going to be decreased, less slow wave, and then less rapid eye movement. So there's less of that deep quality sleep that we're used to getting. So this, of course, is going to also play a factor into how we feel during our luteal. We have less access to really quality sleep just because of the way things have shifted hormonally, etc., etc. Okay, your lowest estrogen is going to happen in late luteal because you're going to hit that valley before you start your bleed. So when that estrogen is extremely low, serotonin receptor density decreases the most it will. So this is going to equate to the lowest mood of the month. You're going to be way more emotional, way more reactive, way more irritable. You're going to find yourself getting pissed off at stuff that you don't even want to get pissed off at. But you just have to honor that and ride that wave, okay? This is when those big emotional crises can and do occur. So if you ever catch yourself like having a major emotional like break or anything, it's probably happening in your luteal phase. Remember that this is just a phase and it's going to pass. Like, you're not going to feel this way forever. But if you're not aware that you're in your luteal phase and you just have one of these days where you're at this crazy low, you don't know why it's happening. You're like, what the fuck is happening? But when you're in your luteal, you know, like, it's just my hormones. It's just the way that my brain is functioning right now. Okay. Nutritionally, you need more food at this time. This is not the time to be intermittent fasting. This is not the time to be keto. Don't do that. Honor your cravings, okay? Your protein oxidation increases 12%, so your protein intake needs to increase 12%. Most women need an average of 150 more calories a day. 12% more protein than you usually would, and you need to make sure you're getting in your carbs. Neurologically, there is a silver lining, and that is this. There is an increase in brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Okay, this increases neuroplasticity and causes new neurons to literally grow at a faster rate. So the way that your brain is able to create new neural pathways, neuroplasticity, which is what it's all about, is increased during this phase. You also have a GABA neurotransmitter that is also increased, which improves mental pruning and mental consolidation. So this is the best time to learn new information and integrate new information. Okay? Your brain is peak for this. So, of course, the superpower of our luteal is the fact that neuroplasticity is at its highest. This is the best time to learn. This is the best time to integrate new concepts, new beliefs. Also, when your subconscious is going to be the most receptive to affirmations because your neuroplasticity is at an all-time high. This is the best time as well for shadow work because it's going to be very easy to identify the parts of the self that you still haven't accepted. And it's very easy to find and locate any residual self-hate and self-judgment that you may still be harboring. This low place that we get taken in our luteal makes it the best time to do shadow work because this is when we can bring all the deep-seated, deep-rooted ish. We can bring it up to the surface because it's very easy for us to find it because we're in this place of it being really easy to judge ourselves and it being really easy to find, be triggered. So you're going to be more easily triggered in your luteal phase. That's a great time for you to figure out what your triggers are and delve into why is this triggering you. It's amazing. It's perfect. It's set up perfectly. I low-key have gotten to a point where my luteal is, I love my luteal phase because it's so easy to see where I need work and where I'm unhealed. Because if it's still coming up, it's still not healed. If it's something still triggering me, it's still something that I need to bring more awareness and attention to. So during this time, don't shy away from all those evil, negative thoughts that you're having. Don't shy away from the self-hate. Don't shy away from the self-judgment. Delve into it, really write it down, and really bring it to the surface, okay? Let the ugliest shit just come forward and come to the surface and come into your awareness. So that way you can start dissolving it and disintegrating it, okay? This is also the time you just have to be the most gentle on yourself that you have ever been because this is when you're going to have the urge to be the hardest and most evil to yourself. So you have to just know that the way your brain is and your thoughts and the way your body's looking, you're not going to be feeling good. You're going to be bloated. We know there's fluid shifts. We know that you're retaining water in crazy ways. We know that there's more systemic inflammation. You're going to be feeling icky. Your brain is going to be icky. But you have to just keep that gentleness and know that it's going to pass, that this luteal phase is going to pass. And know that the work you're doing in your luteal phase, because of this increased neuroplasticity, this work is not going to waste. Any self-work that you're doing, any self-love practice that you're having during your luteal phase is really sinking into your brain because of that increased neuroplasticity, okay? So it's all in an effort to keep making you better because although it's so easy to go into the deep dark places during your luteal, your brain is supporting you in healing these deep dark places during your luteal, okay? So our cognitive superpower boiled down into one word for our luteal phase is growth, okay? This is the time to know that any residual self-judgment and self-hate can be dissolved. You can get out of there. And at your late luteal, you're going to hit a valley, the lowest valley of estrogen. And then once that hits, that's when your bleed starts, okay? And so once that lowest hormone phase, and it's all cycle, so it's all just kind of connected. So I'm scrolling back up to my winter slide. There's less ATP being created at this very late luteal / right before your bleed starts. So your metabolic function is low right now. But then once that bleed starts, your hormones start coming back up and you're back into your follicular phase, and then the cycle starts over again. So you're just going to keep cycling these cycles, and then eventually your luteals aren't going to be as bad because you've done all this other work in these other phases, and then it's just going to keep cycling up, and then you're going to have a really bad luteal because you might have forgotten to take care of yourself during a follicular. All of these phases become each other. They're all just one steady cycle. So the way that you take care of yourself in your luteal phase is going to impact how your period is. If you're really, really sore and crampy and having a really aggressive period, it's probably because you didn't take care of yourself in your luteal. Okay? If you're having a really, deep, dark luteal, it's probably because in your follicular, you were neglecting to act in aligned ways. You might have been using your excess energy for things that weren't benefiting you. It's all connected, and it's just as important that you take care of yourself so deeply in every single phase and honor every single phase.